Hello everybody, and welcome back to another landscape photography video here on my channel. Today I'm actually up here on this meadow here on the mountains of the town I live in here in Colorado. Kind of just trying to photograph these really pretty wildflowers down here, which I don't know if I'm succeeding at photographing them, but I'm trying to succeed at photographing them. Anyway, in today's video I want to talk about some of my biggest mistakes that I feel like I've made as a landscape photographer, becoming a landscape photographer over the past few years. So let's just dive right into those mistakes I've made. So these are more of general mistakes and misconceptions I had about landscape photography, and this video kind of goes hand in hand with a video I put out a few weeks ago where I kind of talked about like 5 tips that I have for improving your landscape photography. So this is not a video about like certain mistakes I made with like just like one photograph or something. It's more of like general mistakes and misconceptions. The first one that really came to mind to me was this misconception or idea that I always had to shoot in like perfect light. It had to be like really good, like sunset, sunrise, golden hour, like amazing light. And I don't know, if you rely on like having perfect light to, you know, do your landscape photography, you're probably only going to go out and shoot like 5 times in a whole year, which, to be honest, it's not going to get you much better as a photographer if you're only shooting 5 times a year. So don't rely on perfect light to get good photos, because first of all, it's just not necessary. You can get amazing photos in average flat light, and you know, those sunsets that you get, sunsets or sunrises that you get that are just like unreal, like you would consider like perfect light, those really only come once in a while. Like that's not something that happens all the time. It's not gonna happen every time you go shoot. It might happen like a few times a year that you get amazing light like that. So just absolutely don't rely on you know, perfect light. That was a huge mistake I made. Last summer when I used to go out and shoot a lot, I would only go out like sunset because I thought like, oh, I'll only get like good photos if I shoot at sunset or sunrise, when the light is really good. And it's like, sure, yeah, I've gotten plenty of nice photos around sunset and golden hour and everything, but I've also gotten some nice photos shooting in the middle of the day. So just don't relying on perfect light. That was probably one of the biggest mistakes I'd say I made, and now I'm trying to get out more and shoot in like midday light and overcast, like flatter conditions, because I find that those can be just as good as the sunset, sunrise, golden hour light. This next one kind of goes together with the one I just talked about, and it's really about not planning enough or not thinking about the location you're shooting at. Now, maybe this is kind of like contradictory towards what I just said about like don't just shoot in perfect light at sunset or golden hour, but I do think it's really important to understand your location a bit and kind of, you know, think a bit about what you're photographing, like what you want to get out of it. What kind of photos are you looking to get at this location? Just have a bit of a vision for it. Sometimes winging a photography trip can be really rewarding. You don't really have much plan. You just like show up at the spot and you take some photos and it ends up being amazing, but that's just not always the case. And sometimes it's good to actually plan times to go out and shoot. So if I know I have, you know, these few days free this week, then I will, you know, maybe look at the weather a bit, see what they're saying. And I mean, to be fair, like, they have no idea what's going on with the weather up here in the mountains. It's completely just random, and the weather forecasts just seem to be very rarely accurate up here. But it's still good to, you know, get an idea of the weather is going to be doing, and you know, try and pick a location you want to go to you think might work for that day. Now, I don't plan like crazy, but I do try to like pick my locations and do a bit of research first. I think that's pretty important. And to be fair, when I first started taking photography more seriously, you know, a couple of years ago, I would not plan at all, and I wouldn't even intentionally go out to take photographs. I would just go somewhere with friends and bring the camera and just, you know, randomly take photos. So, you know, when you're doing that, you kind of rarely get great photos if you're not thinking at all about what you're doing or where you're going, or not planning one bit about where you're going. Then you know, you're generally probably not going to get great photos as often. You know, you still will get some good ones. And this next one that came to mind that I feel like I really, just when I first started doing photography and trying to improve, I just did not take seriously enough, is that I just didn't get out and shoot enough. Like, I don't think maybe people know, you know, how much work and effort it can take to like consistently improve your photography and consistently get good photos, because you have to go out consistently. You know, before it's like I would go out and photograph maybe once a month or something like that, and I wouldn't really plan it too much. I wouldn't really think about where I was going. I would just kind of like show up somewhere and just take the camera out and just shoot a bunch of random stuff, and then whatever I got, and that can be fun if you're just casually shooting. But if you're actually trying to improve your photography, I feel like it's easy to just not plan anything and not even really get out all that often, just because, you know, maybe it just feels inconvenient or like a lot of work, and you don't want to, you know, drive 30 minutes and then hike 3 hours up a trail to get to this amazing alpine lake for sunset and sit there and wait and find your spots. And that's a lot of work, and it can be kind of overwhelming sometimes, and like waiting for the weather to be just right. It can take quite a bit of effort to make all those things come together for you to get a great photo, but it's completely worth it when you do. So yeah, just not getting out and shooting enough, and not really taking the planning part as seriously as maybe I should have if I was actually looking to improve my photography and just get better photos and consistently improve, and consistent improvement over time. You know, like marginal gains. It's like you constantly want to be improving as much as you can. I think any landscape photographer can probably attest to this one, in that it's just kind of, don't get too far ahead of yourself, and don't make getting a great photo like the only goal and your only purpose of getting out and shooting landscape photography. Because if you're going to do that, you're probably not going to be very happy most of the time, because honestly, a lot of times you go out, you're not going to get like a portfolio level image. You're not going to get like this amazing, incredible image that you always dreamed of capturing. Those moments only come occasionally. And most of the time when you go out and shoot, you might get some good photos, but they're not going to be anything spectacular or mind-blowing. They're just going to be like, maybe some nice images. That's at least what I found for myself, is that most of the time when I go out and shoot, I get some nice ones, but nothing spectacular or mind-blowing. So I think the really important thing to remember is that you just need to enjoy the process of being out in nature and just, you know, using your camera and just taking photos. Just enjoy the process of it. And this could probably be applied to a whole different range of areas of your life, to just enjoy the journey, enjoy the process of creating, because that's ultimately why we do it. And, you know, just being out in nature is nice. So just enjoy it. Don't get too ahead of yourself and always worrying about getting great photos, because if you just worry about that and that's the only thing you care about, that's the only thing you're worried about, you're probably not going to be too pleased most of the time. But then when you do get that great shot, you know, you're going to feel pretty good about it. Well, I hope you guys found some of those tips helpful. If so, then definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. Leave a comment, like the video, and check out my Instagram at envision_adventure and my website envisionadventure.net. I'd greatly appreciate it. It would help me out. And yeah, if you'd like to see more videos, then definitely subscribe to my channel below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next landscape photography video.